In the forest, shadows come alive. It happened on the darkest night of October, when the cold wind howled through the trees as if warning of unseen dangers. That evening, while everyone in the village gathered around their fireplaces, I decided to do what no one else dared. My younger brother, Lesha, had disappeared 2 days ago, and I couldn't sit idly by. I knew his tracks led into the forest of which terrifying legends were told. Clutching a dim flashlight in my hand, I pushed through the dense underbrush. With each step, the darkness grew thicker, and it seemed the trees around me loomed taller, threatening to engulf me. The wind howled like the ghostly voices of lost souls, but I pressed on, despite my growing fear. Hours passed before I stumbled upon an old, dilapidated cabin. The wooden structure looked like it hadn't been touched in decades, its walls covered in moss and ivy, the windows broken and dark. I felt Lesha was close. As I approached the door, I heard muffled sounds. Someone was groaning. My heart pounded as I threw open the door and froze. Inside, in a corner, on a filthy old mattress, lay my brother, weak and terrified. But it wasn't this sight that horrified me the most. In the opposite corner, hidden in the shadows, lurked a tall, monstrous figure. The creature seemed to be woven from the very darkness of the forest. Its eyes glowed a bright red, and its clawed hands were poised to strike. It looked like an ancient guardian, watching over its prey. The air in the cabin was thick with the stench of decay, and the floor creaked ominously under my feet. I stepped back, realizing there was no avoiding a fight. The monster lunged at me, and I narrowly dodged. Its claws slashed through the air where I had been standing just moments before. I grabbed an old, rusty axe lying by the door, realizing that the only way out was to fight for our lives, for my brother's life. The handle of the axe was rough and splintered, but I held on to it with all my strength. The battle was unequal. The monster moved with inhuman speed and strength, but desperation gave me power. I struck blow after blow, each swing filled with all the fear and anger I felt. The monster's growls filled the cabin, echoing off the walls and making my blood run cold. Finally, I managed to hit the monster in the neck. The creature roared, a sound so deep and primal, it seemed to shake the very ground beneath me. I used the moment to run to Lesha. His eyes were wide with fear, but he grabbed my hand tightly as I pulled him to his feet. We ran, not looking back, through thorny branches and thick undergrowth. The forest seemed alive, the trees closing in around us, trying to trap us. I could hear the monster growling behind us, but adrenaline drove me forward. My legs burned, and my lungs felt like they would burst, but I didn't stop. Finally, just as I thought my strength would fail me, we broke through to the edge of the forest. Dimly lit houses appeared ahead, their lights like beacons guiding us home. Gasping for breath, we stumbled into the village. People, seeing us, rushed over, surrounding us and asking what had happened. Their faces were filled with concern and curiosity. I couldn't speak, I just held Lesha tightly, grateful that we had escaped that nightmare. The villagers' questions faded into the background as I focused on the warmth and safety of home.